What we have seen over the course of the last few years is those two positions are really kind of like jockeying each other. So one year you'll find that Singapore being more expensive than Hong Kong. The next year Hong Kong will take that place once again. And it's largely due to the relative inflation that you see between the two locations. One year Singapore may have a higher rise in prices. This year we've seen that prices year on year have risen by about 4.5% here in Hong Kong versus 4% down in the red dot. So, you know, they're really kind of like neck and neck, and there's really not that much difference in relative living costs between the two locations anymore.
Right. I'm seeing something in this survey because you highlight, obviously, the cost of living for expats.
Yes.
Okay. That means that somebody living in these places tries to maintain the lifestyle that they knew and were used to and want the same products and things like that. Like instead of, you know, going to the wet market, they're going to shop at overpriced, price gouging places like Great or City Super and pay the equivalent of $80 a pound for USDA prime ribeye.
It's not necessarily about maintaining your home purchasing power, so to speak. But yes, we are really looking at an internationally available basket of goods. And yes, the survey is geared towards your globally mobile employees who generally tend to be management level and above. Now, obviously, if you go to certain countries, there is going to be a significant price differential between the price that a local national would pay for goods and services that they would normally buy and what an international executive would buy as well. But, I mean, if you look at the top ranking locations in our survey, places like Norway, Switzerland, Hong Kong, Tokyo, I think you can probably say fairly that living costs are pretty much similar regardless of whether or not you're a local national versus if you're a foreigner.
Right, I think you need to change your metrics a bit, because how did Caracas, Venezuela get up to the top? I mean, that's got to be about currency control.
That is purely about currency, as you point out.
But is that a realistic portrayal of how expensive it is for expats to be living in these cities?
It would be for an international executive, yes, because when we're looking at goods and services, obviously we need to compare them relativity in terms of you need to compare all of the prices and convert them into a common currency. And for the basis of this survey, we've used the US dollar. Now, obviously, when people are buying goods and services in Caracas, they're paying for those in Bolivar. But the thing is, as a foreigner, what exchange rate you have available to you varies quite considerably. Now, obviously, as part of our survey, we have to use the official exchange rate. We can't condone the use of black market exchange rates. The reason being...
Then your survey is bunk then.
No, it's not.
Basically.
No, it's not.
It doesn't reflect how people actually do things. I mean, you know, I'm sure expats deal in the black market, don't they?
They may do. But again, having said that, we can't condone the use of that. But interestingly, we see that if we do use the official exchange rate, yes, Caracas comes out as being the most expensive location in the world. However, if we use the unofficial black market exchange rate, it actually turns out to be one of the cheapest locations. And we give that information to our clients. So we do actually explain to them.
Can I just quickly ask about Angola?
Yes.
There are some really interesting 1-2 rankings there.
Yep.
How did Angola make it to number 2? Is there a capital control issue there as well?
There's not necessarily, but it's all about, number one, those basket of goods and services. So you're looking at internationally available items. In certain developing locations, places like Africa, for example, there's significant quotas, significant tariffs, import taxes on internationally available items. So that's really what is pushing prices up in Angola for an international basket of goods.